Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. We have Roman Mironov today, all the way from Canada. He is what we call a relationship coach. You listen to life coaches, you listen to business coaches, and what we have today through Romanov is a relationship coach, and he got trained by Tony Robbins and his team, and after that he set out to create his own path. So welcome, Romanov.
Yeah, thank you, Rajiv. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself in your own words?
Yeah, as you mentioned, I am a relationship coach trained by Tony Robbins program. I work from Toronto, Canada. And before that, I had been a translator for 14 years until last year when I made both the move from my home country, Russia, to Canada, and the career shift, becoming a coach.
So what prompted you? What kind of attracted you towards coaching, and why relationship coaching in particular?
Oh, there are actually many reasons. The first one is that as a translator, I had been always sitting in front of my computer and not really engaging with other people. So I was quite tired of that, and it's pretty hard for me not to see the direct results of my work. I mean, I did produce a lot of translations, but I didn't feel like I was contributing to anyone. So I really wanted to go out and help people more and engage with them more. So that was one huge point for me. Another reason was going through a painful divorce 6 years ago, and I wanted to share this experience with other people so that I could help them to avoid making the same mistakes that I did. And the third component was, getting myself out in the dating world and accumulating some knowledge about dating and relationships that I hadn't had previously. But now I gained it, and I also wanted to share that information and all the things that I learned with people, with my clients. And I guess the fourth thing is that I'm a huge fan of self-improvement. So I love to see changes, positive changes in my own life. And it gives me the same level of pleasure to see those changes, those kinds of changes in my clients as well. That's another reason.
So when you joined the coaching program, I'm sure you didn't join saying, okay, I want to become a coach, right? You joined a lot for your own challenges, your own things that you wanted to sort out in your own life. True?
No, I actually joined it to become a coach. Yeah.
Okay. So you just mentioned, you were going through a whole series of challenges, right? So how did that happen? Like, you had your own challenges to take care of, but at the same time, you're here trying to become a coach. So did you feel that, okay, let me get into this program. If I am able to learn and then apply it on myself, I'll be a better coach? How did that all happen?
In terms of the timeline, I think it was like this. So I divorced in 2014. Mm-hmm. Then I spent the next 5 years actually learning, and was more important, I was actually going out and practicing all those tips on my dates and in my relationships. So I spent 5 years accumulating that knowledge. And after that, I decided to become a coach. So yeah, the coaching program itself, it gave me a lot. But my point is that I knew quite a bit about dating and relationships after those 5 years, even before going into the coaching program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So of course, what I learned in the training, it also helped me with my challenges that I still have those challenges. Everyone has. And I'm still working out on my weaknesses. I want to improve. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the timeline, right? When did you actually get coached, and how long have you been in business?
Okay. I've been in business since last year, and I started my coaching program with Tony Robbins. And actually, it's called Robbins Madanes training. I started that training back in last year and completed it this year.
What did you learn? So take us through the program.
This program that I did is called Core 100. it's mainly about relationships, and it teaches main tools that Tony uses in his practice, like 6 human needs. This tool is about analyzing what the person wants in their life. And for example, one of the needs that we all have is certainty. Yeah? The feeling of wanting to feel safe, secure, comfortable, knowing where the next paycheck is coming from, knowing that our roof is going to be there tomorrow. And the point is about this one particular example is that a person might meet their need in an unhealthy way or an unsustainable way. For example, they might meet their need for certainty by overeating. Because when they overeat, they feel so much better, both during the process and after the process. And the point of this whole strategy is that you see that, okay, they overeat because of the need for certainty. And then you find another vehicle for them to meet that need in a healthier way. Let's say you find a replacement like listening to music or reading a book. So something else that gives them certainty. That's one of the strategies. Another strategy that Tony always teaches is changing your emotions immediately by using 3 things. They are physiology, focus, and meaning. So with your physiology, when you smile, you feel better. Just like normally you think that when you feel better, when you're happy, you smile, right? But it also works the other way around. When you smile, you feel better. When your back is not straight, when your shoulders are slumped, you can stand straight, you can smile, and you will feel better. So you might quickly change your emotions from depression to feeling actually pretty good. The second thing of this system or this tool, that's called the triad. The second thing is meaning. And it's about the meaning that you give to events. It's about reframing. So, for example, if something happens in your life and you see it as suffering, you might want to reframe it, not as suffering, but as a lesson. See it as a lesson. And the third thing of this tool is focus. It's about what you are focusing on right now. And for example, I create my focus in the morning each day. So, for example, I would just focus that I had on something like a great bike ride that I did yesterday. And whenever I feel that, for example, I'm starting not to feel particularly good about something, I just, shift myself back to that focus. I had a great bike ride. And because our mind can focus on just one thing at a time, that helps a lot.
When we talk about relationships, right, the reason relationships go south, a lot of it is due to other reasons, other impending reasons, whether external, internal. Well, a lot of internal issues are because of external influences and such. So when you're into coaching people on their relationships and the kind of people that are coming to you, what do they seek? Are they really seeking you to fix their relationship tight in a bow and give it to them? Or are they open to work with you on the more difficult aspect of changing them internally as well as their external dynamics?
I think it's a combination of these two things, because they come with a hope that I will really, really fix their issues, but then they are also committed, because those people who come to coaching, they're quite rare, because people don't want to work on their problems, especially like all those relationship issues, because they're chronic. They live with them for months and for years, and they stop noticing them, even though all those issues are still in the back of their mind, and they keep stressing those people. So I think it is both. It's both. And But that's what I love about coaching, is that when committed people come to sessions with me, they really do the work, usually.
Tell us a little bit about your program, right? Whatever you've been doing over the last year, how's that been doing and how's your program laid out?
Basically, my program it looks like this. So when a client comes to me, my very first session with them, which is no fee, by the way, I listen to their situation. I might spend 1 or 2 hours just listening to them, understanding the specifics of the situation. If they choose to work with me, I sit them down during the next session. I put them through a short meditation to open up their mind and heart. Then I ask them to tell me their goals. So they tell me all their goals and motivation for each of the goals. Then we prioritize those goals and we start working on them in accordance with the priority. So let's say right now I have a woman, she's 46, and she is dating a man who is 10 years younger, and she has this anxiety about the age gap between them. So I'm helping her with feeling less anxious about it and really helping her to understand that by feeling that anxiety, she actually makes it even more difficult for herself to be attractive. Because when you're anxious, when you're stressed all the time, you can be, your partner sees that in you and they don't like it.
The last 1 year, how has it been for you from a business standpoint, and where do your customers come from? How do they find you, or how do you find them?
Well, this last year has been close to fantastic because basically I started my business right, and I'm picking on new clients all the time, and I love this. The two main sources for the clients that I have right now, for example, are, of course, my online marketing, and clients also come by referrals.
Do you have other programs besides your flagship program that you are putting out there in the market?
I don't think about this, what I do in terms of programs.
Okay.
Although, do you mean like relationship coaching as a program?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I do relationship coaching. Like I specialize on it. But the funny thing is that when people come to me and we sit down to discuss their goals, they also have all sorts of goals in their life. So for example, this same woman, she also wants to lose weight. So I can help her with that. And in fact, there was quite a big segment in the Tony Robbins program that taught how to help people to lose weight. So I use that knowledge as well. So that will be weight loss, work-life balance. This is something I love to help people with because this has been my challenge for many years as a workaholic. And let's say, actually, porn addiction. I help a lot of people with porn addiction.
So let's talk a little bit about relationship coaching, right? Relationships are multifold. Doesn't have to be between two partners. Doesn't have to be between, a spouse and, whether it's the husband or the wife. There's also relationships that go wrong in terms of families or parents and kids or, all kinds of relationships out there. Do you hear from people who need help in all of these areas, or is it primarily partners?
Yes, I also hear from people who want to be helped in those areas as well, because it's usually, like a guy might come to me, he's 44 and he has a family with 8 kids. And his primary concern is, let's say, his relationship with his wife. But then he also wants to be a great dad for all those 8 kids, especially because there are so many of them, and he feels that he does not give enough attention to every one of them, and he doesn't just have the time to engage with every one of them. So we sit down with him and we also think of creative ways that he can engage more with them. Yeah, that's something I love to help. And I also love to help people who, have better relationships with their parents, especially because I love my parents so much. So it's very easy for me to relate to other people who struggle with their parents, and because I can give them very, very specific examples. Yeah.
In your mind, what is coaching all about, right? You mentioned the relationship aspect of it. You mentioned some people have other challenges, work-life balance, obesity, whatever the challenges that they have. There's people that are trained coaches. There's people that they believe they are good coaches, they become coaches. Nowadays, coaching has picked up so much that you turn on Facebook, every other person out there is a coach. How does that really work? What's your take on what differentiates a good coach from a not so good one?
I would say that a good coach is one very empathetic. They really can listen to the client. They can understand the situation very well, and they can think of specific ways and tools that they can use to help the client with, not just using generic stuff that they read online. And the second thing is a good coach can actually be very, very attentive to the ways that the client can accept advice and be motivated, because different people react and, are motivated by different things. So for example, with one client, an authoritative style works. So if I tell them, I see that they respond to the authoritative style better. So I might say to them, okay, for the next session, I want you to do this, this, and this. And if you don't do that, I'm going to give you a hard time for that. And that works for them. For another person, I see that this won't work. This will be too much. So I might talk to them more, explaining why they want this, asking them questions about their motivation. So taking a very different approach.
In your mind, how important is coaching? Somebody has to be open to be able to be coached. And when someone has a challenge, generally they're very private. They're keeping it to themselves. They're trying to sort it out themselves. They only go to people that they trust, probably family, friends, in order to find some help. So to be able to open up to a third person who comes in as a coach is not so easy. How do you jump over that hurdle in order to reach your clients? And of course, somebody has to come to you before you know that they have an issue and they need to be sorted out. But there is still that challenge, that hurdle, and how do you end up gaining their trust?
That's an easy question, because you do the same thing that you do in your own relationships. You just give 100% present. You're present in the conversation. You ask quality questions, and you listen without interrupting. That's it. This will open up the person almost all the time, whether it's in a client-coach situation or in your relationship with a spouse or a partner or a kid. You need to listen first.
So now that you've been in business for about a year, what's coming next? What's new? What's next?
Helping more people in better ways.
Anything that you'd like to share with your audience in terms of takeaways or any advice that you'd like to give them?
I think my best advice is it's a pretty generic one, but it's still important. See a relationship as like a business. With your business or your career, you work on it every day, right? You invest a lot of time, a lot of effort. You educate yourself to be better. But when we get into a relationship, we think that for some reason it's different. I mean, all the hard work has been done, and after that is going to be all downhill in terms of the effort, so it's going to be easier. No, actually the hard work starts when you get into a committed relationship, especially a marriage. So it's treat your relationship like a business. Learn about it, put in a lot of effort. Yeah, be very intentional about it. Don't assume that it's going to be just fine automatically by default. No. By default is going to deteriorate all the time.
And where can people find you?
Please go to my website, which is romanmironov.com, spelled as ROMANMIRONOV. Hit the contact button. Contact me for a no-fee relationship breakthrough session. And if you remember to mention that you're coming from Rajiv's podcast, I'll be happy to give you a 30% discount off the coaching package if you choose to buy one.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your business, your experience, your expertise with us. We look forward to following you and keeping in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajiv. It's been a pleasure and a privilege.
I hope you liked that episode and are enjoying all the episodes in Plan B Success podcast. I'd encourage you to go subscribe on your favorite platform, whether it's any listening platform or YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe so that you enjoy this content and extract from it what serves you best, what benefits you in your own life, personal, professional, business, whatever it might be. PlanB.live is the website where you can go in order to find any episode that you would like to listen to. 3 times a week, we release episodes, the first being an inspiring interview with someone who's done it, been there, done that, and can inspire you to go after what you want to achieve. Every Monday, that's the episode that gets released. And then, on Wednesdays and Fridays, we pick a topic and we talk about it in order to benefit you in your personal and professional life. At the same time, if you're someone who's interested in learning more about these concepts, if you're someone who's interested in podcasting as well, go check out planbsuccessschool.thinkific.com. That's where all the online courses are. You can learn and benefit from them there as well. There's a bunch of free courses. There's a bunch of paid courses. Start with the free ones. Get to learn what you aspire to learn. And if you want to delve deeper, then you can sign up for the other ones. Thank you very much.